live. And I already have one like. Well, that is very nice. Thank you. Um, I'm actually starting a moment later than I planned to, because just as I was starting to get this ready, the mailman knocks at the door and he needed a signature. So I'm like, hurry up, I gotta get online. I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. Um, so, before I go too far, I want to let anybody know who's watching this after it's live to wait maybe a day, because the chat, if there is any chat, um, will not show up right away. So, hi Karen. Um, so, if you want to follow along with the chat, then just watch afterwards. Also, the reason I'm doing this live today is I've been having some trouble with my right hand and my right arm, and my neck has been spasming a little bit. So I just thought it would be easier going live than trying to edit and whatnot. So that's the reason I'm going live, if anyone was curious. But yeah, I mean, this happens off and on. I'm getting like tension down here. My arm will spasm a lot. So brushing my teeth and shaving was a lot of fun. But I managed without damaging myself, as I usually do. I usually save myself from too much damage, because I can, as it starts, I can kind of stop it from doing, well, not always, because I do sometimes throw food on myself or throw a drink at myself. So I can't say I always preempt it, but it is what it is. So let's see. What has been going on this week? Not a lot. And I gotta admit that I was not very good with tracking, so it definitely showed on the scales. And I think I mentioned that last week, how things had kind of, I was outside of my routine, and that always throws me off. Or maybe I'm just using that as an excuse, I don't know, but I know it's very difficult for me when things don't happen the way they're supposed to do things the way I'm supposed to. I think it's from the ADD, and not that that's an excuse either. But like even in the morning, I usually get up, first thing I do is I make coffee, then I make us breakfast. Usually it's the yogurt with fruit. And if Paul happens to get up and make coffee and then I come out, it just throws me off. I mean, just something little like that. I do appreciate it, because then that's one less thing I have to do. But it throws me off because I have this routine set in my head, and that's not what's happening. Also, what else has happened this week? Anything? Not really. We stayed home for the most part. Paul had to fix Brian's computer. Our grandson Brian, his computer conked out on him, so he was very upset. And Paul ended up buying him a new computer. And yeah, we do kind of spoil him. But, you kind of got to, don't you? Anyways, hopefully everyone is doing well. I've only seen Karen in the chat so far, which is fine. You don't have to chat, but feel free to add any input that you would like. And I thought that today, for the information part, That's right, Karen. That's what grandparents are for. Because when he was here last weekend, he was here Saturday and Sunday. I believe I mentioned that in the last weigh-in. We made peanut butter cookies. We all went a little overboard on them. He came up with this idea of doing like a drizzle of dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and white chocolate on the top. So we did that, and they were really good, a little too good. We didn't send him home with any, which is what we usually do. And so I sent him home with like, because we bought the peanut butter that he likes. He's a Jif person. I like Skippy, so I sent that home with him. Sent him home with a few other things. His parents are like, "You're always sending him home with things," but it's what we do. But I was going to say, I was looking at emails and things that I've gotten to come up with a topic for this weigh-in, and I thought that I would go with one I got from Hungry Girl, which is about calories, the unexpected truth about calories, because I know for a lot of us, especially if we are on like healthy or WW where there are 0 bite, 0 point foods, I know for me, it's hard to know if I'm getting enough calories or getting too many calories because I don't track those 0 bite things. I it's just too much for me to track every single thing. That's why I don't count calories. But I know a lot of people do count calories, and a lot of people do track that as well as WW points or healthy bites or what have you. So I thought I would use this email for our topic this week. It says, sometimes in our quest to cut calories, we miss the obvious. And if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. That doesn't mean you can't trust food labels and need to start cooking everything from scratch, although I usually do. Learn the surprising truth about calories so you can make smarter choices. Then she has a Hungry Girl FYI. Paying attention to calories is a helpful tool for many folks on a healthy eating journey. But if it doesn't suit your personal journey, feel free to skip on today's intro. Now, as I said, I don't like counting calories. It's too picky for me. So it gets overwhelming. That's why I liked, that's why I like tracking with the Healthy app and the WW app is I don't have to track every minute little thing. I do track everything when I track, which is another thing I did not do last week. And I always know if I'm not tracking, it's going to throw me off. I know it, but I don't. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. That made me think of something, and oh, I know. I looked up and saw the thumbs up. I see 3 thumbs up. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up on this, I would appreciate it. All right, so first it says, consider the source. Bigger and more established food brands tend to have more accurate nutrition information, mainly because they have resources to calculate it, and more to lose if their numbers are inaccurate. Use your intuition. If a local If a local bakery makes enormous, decadent muffins and claims that they have 100 calories each, you might want to opt for something a little less suspicious. And that does make sense that, a well-known brand is going to be more established with that kind of information than a bakery or what have you. They can get close, and even my recipes, I put it into the app and I get it calculated that way. So that's where I get the nutrition facts, is through the Healthy app. So, and it also depends on the exact items that you're using. It could fluctuate a little bit that way. Next, servings can be deceiving. Pay close attention to the serving size and number of servings per container. That packaged snack may look like a single serving, but oftentimes it's two or more. Flip over the package and check the number of servings and then do the math. And I have seen that many times where you get a little package. Hi, Barbara. Oh, double the maintenance. Well, I have plenty of recipes on my blog, and that will be linked down below after this, but you can find it in the description box on any of my videos. Oh, actually, I can share it. I forget I'm going live. I can share it right now in the chat, actually, the website. So I don't know what I was thinking, or if I was thinking. Okay, so I will add this to the chat. Now, a lot of those recipes are in my cookbook, unless they are like from the past 6 months or so, then those are only on the blog. But that link will bring you to the blog where you can find all of my recipes. But it's awesome that you're doing maintenance. Okay. Government guidelines allow for error, which I've heard this before where it's like even like what goes into an item. I guess they're saying, you can have certain up to 0.2% of insect larvae, or whatever it is, some weird stuff that could be in there because they'll allow a little bit. But anyway, so they do allow for error. So FDA guidelines allow food labels to be off by as much as 20%. This means your go-to snack bar with a reported 250 calories could have closer to 300 calories. But again, consider the brand. Well-established food manufacturers are less likely to have inaccurate numbers. And as they said, they don't want to screw around with those kinds of things and end up having people complain and boycott them because they're giving out inaccurate information. FDA guidelines. If a product has less than 5 calories per serving, the calorie count can be rounded down to 0. I don't think that's that big of a deal because 5 calories, but I guess if you're adding that up, I guess it could matter. This doesn't mean calorie-free foods are off limits. Here's the need to know info. So if there are 0-calorie dressings and condiments, like I think, is it what is that? Skinny Girl. I think she's the one with the dressings. I think that's what it's called. A lot of those are 0. So what they're saying here is each serving can contain up to 4 calories, and sometimes those servings are unrealistically small. These are also known to contain questionable ingredients, so you may want to opt for a low-calorie option instead, rather than 0 calorie, because maybe they got those 0 calories by putting in chemicals or things like that. And I do have a few salad dressings. I do have some more coming up. But I have some salad dressings on the website, so that way you know exactly what's going into your salad dressing. So if you want salad dressings, check the blog. No calorie sweeteners. Now, you know that's what I use all the time in my baking and whatnot. That's what helps me to keep the bites and points and calories low. The average packet actually contains 4 calories. That's still a calorie bargain compared to real sugar, which is about 15 calories per packet and is half as sweet. And with so many varieties, including natural picks. That's what Paul likes, is the natural sugar in the raw. He likes those packets that looks kind of brownish and a little chunkier than regular sugar. There is something for everyone. Find your favorite and consider keeping the number of packets you use in check. Non-cook. I wish I could really talk. Non-stick cook. See, this is why. You see, I'm getting distracted. This is why I edit, is because of things like this. You should hear all of the flubs that end up on the cutting room floor, because my tongue's tripping up, or my jaw's tightening up, or my throat's tightening up, or whatever. So when you go live, you get what you get. Non-stick cooking spray. The labels on most sprays say 0 calories for a 1/4 of a second spray. A more realistic 1-second spray is about 5 to 10 calories and about 0.5 grams of fat. Thank you, Karen. I do appreciate that. Still not bad. When regular oil works better than spray, measure it out. 1 teaspoon has around 40 calories and 4.5 grams of fat. Now, I do sometimes add, depending on the recipe, I do sometimes add a little oil to it, and that either helps with flavor or helps with getting things to combine better. But a little bit, I don't worry about that much. Even like sugar, like sprinkles. If you have, I think it's a teaspoon of like little sprinkles for like ice cream topping or whatever, that's 0. Bites with points, not calories. But it's still fairly low in calories. So every once in a while, you have to give yourself the chance to indulge a little bit. One last tip. It says the nutritional information listed is almost always based on weight. Those 100-calorie muffins, the label might list each muffin as 2 ounces, but if it really weighs 3.5 ounces, it contains at least 175 calories. So definitely, I love weighing things, especially using zero-bite, zero-point foods, because you get a more accurate measure, and sometimes you actually get a little bit more. Like if I'm doing little snack packs, I like weighing them out rather than counting or doing a dry measure, because sometimes you get a little bit more for the same number of bites and points if you weigh them. I thought there was something more in there. But anyway, so that's what they say about calories, and just knowing that if there is something that's 0 calorie, there might be a couple of calories in there. Are they going to be enough to really add up to anything? I don't think so. But you do have to take that into account when you are checking things. Now, the other thing I realized when I decided to go live, hey Tiffany, is that I can't show you my app, my weight scale app, pardon me, because I'm recording it from my phone. So, one moment, please. me. But I think I can edit it in after the fact. But you could just take my word for it, because I'm going to be quite honest with you that I was up again this week. I keep bouncing around the same numbers. I keep losing and gaining about 2.5 pounds. I am now at 240, which is 0.2 pounds above what I was a few weeks ago. Jesus. Oh, and the distiller just stopped. If you heard a noise click off, I totally forgot about it because so used to it in the background. Um, but so I was up 2.6 this week. Last week I was down 2.4, right? And then before that I was up 2.2 or something. Anyways, I keep bouncing around that same thing. And as I said, I believe the biggest culprit is that I wasn't tracking. I, especially over the weekend, we were, a little more lax, which was fine when I was at goal. But now that I'm not at goal, I really have to curb that. And I get into the mindset where if it's not going to fit into the bites and points, why track it anyway? So then I end up not tracking anything. And that really does throw me off. So I am tracking again today. I can't even show you that because it's on the phone. And I really have to make sure that I am sticking to track. That's when I do my best, is when I am tracking. I get so distracted sometimes and so like, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I can be a whiny little baby. Um, but, it is what it is. I told you I would be upfront with you. This is what a journey looks like. You have your ups, you have your downs, twists and turns. Sometimes you have to backtrack. Sometimes you're going straight down the highway and you're going well, and then you realize you missed your exit or whatever it is. So that's where I am this week. I'm not going to try to say that I won't be up again next week because this weekend I was not great. And I am trying to, for the rest of the week, because I weigh myself Friday morning, so I'm trying for the rest of the week to, oh, you're doing the same, Tiffany? Yeah, it's like I keep going up and down, like right around that same, but I know from previous weight loss that tracking is the answer. Tracking, knowing exactly what I'm having, setting up snacks and things that fit into that, and not caving to temptations, which I have been doing quite a bit. So, it is what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm here to be accountable, because if I'm not accountable, if I'm trying to push things under the rug, that's not helping me. It's not helping you. It's not helping anybody. So that's where I am. Do I have anything for this week? I have not figured out. I usually record on Wednesdays for what will be coming out on Friday. The past 2 weeks I've been really lazy and recorded Thursday morning. Hi, Rachel. I recorded Thursday morning and then had to edit that same day. So, oh yeah, road trips always get me too, Tiffany. Especially if I go someplace, like if I was just, somewhere down the road, that's no big deal. But if I go somewhere else, like if we go up to Maine or whatever, I'm tempted because I can't get these foods anywhere else. I've got to get it now. I might as well try it. And so I totally get you. I would be the same way because I'm much more relaxed when I'm traveling. Not relaxed as far as, de-stressed, but relaxed as far as what I'm eating, what my eating habits are. So I totally get that, Tiffany. But I'm not sure when I'm recording this week. I do have a protein pudding that I made that I really enjoyed. So I was thinking of doing that because it's really easy. it's mostly just like protein powder, some non-fat plain Greek yogurt, and a few other things. And you can play around with that. So that's what I'm considering. I do also have two dressings, honey mustard and Thousand Island, that will be coming out at some point. Um, I know there was like some sort of chicken and tomato dish, like not tomato sauce, but like little grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes. So something's coming out Friday. I just don't know what yet. I may even end up doing somebody else's recipe. Who knows? But I don't know. But I mean, that's the bad thing is, well, it's not really a bad thing. I don't do much except go shopping like once a week, maybe twice a week. So I'm home a lot. I watch TV. I get into trouble because I'm just kind of like want some excitement, some entertainment. And usually, if I'm watching like Survivor, The Traders, Amazing Race is coming back up, those things I love, but they're like once a week. And then when they're done, they're done. So I do try to distract myself with TV. I really should get back into reading more, and even more so, I should get back into writing. That's what I really should be doing. And I'm trying to get my schedule set so that is what I'm doing. Um, I say schedule like my schedule is so full that I'm trying to squeeze it in. No, it's just I know me in the morning. We usually don't get up till like 9 because we are up very late. And then we have like a little window, like we'll have breakfast and coffee. Then we have a little window before Paul has his lunch. So then I'll make lunch. And then the afternoon is much more clear. So that's really the best time for me to do things. Because in the morning, oh my goodness, pardon me, because in the morning, I do not like time pressure. I don't know about any of you, but if there's anything timed, freaks me out. So knowing that there's such a small window between breakfast and lunch makes me anxious about what I can get done in that time. I don't know why. That's just the way I've always been. If I play a game, I can't do a game that's timed. Stresses me out to no end. These people who are on cooking competitions where it's timed, no. I would be throwing knives, throwing spoons, throwing pots and pans. I don't do well with time pressure. I don't know if any of you are the same, but it just doesn't work for me. But so I really need to start scheduling things like actually, and I do have a planner on the Zazzle store, I believe, or Fourth Wall store. One of the two stores, I do have a planner. So I was thinking I might get one of those. That way I can schedule things. Because if I don't have a schedule, if I don't have things set, my mind, the ADD just all over the place. And I always feel like I have something I'm supposed to be doing, even when I don't. So I think having something written down like that, even if I do it on my phone, would be helpful because, that open-ended, leaving things open, I need to see exactly what. I should also be meal planning because it drives Paul crazy that typically he'll ask what's for dinner at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I have no idea. I go into the kitchen, throw something together. So I really should be meal planning, doing all that stuff. So I'm not stressing myself out, trying to figure out what to make. and sometimes making bad choices because of it. But, anyways, that is my weigh in, my long rambling weigh in this week. Um, Hopefully, I can get a little bit of that 2.5 pounds or so that I've picked up off for the next weigh in. I will be weighing in Friday morning. So, fingers crossed, I keep my nose to the grindstone, keep plodding forward, keep tracking. That is the biggest thing for me. Um, Anyways, I guess that's about all I have to talk to you about. Unless anyone has any questions or anything they would like to add, feel free. But if not, I'll probably just leave you there and I don't think I'll do a live for the next weigh-in. Like I said, this one was just my arm was just, I just didn't have the time to try to worry about if my arm would stay steady enough to edit a video. It was bad enough when I was brushing my teeth and I have a spasm. That's the life. Fingers crossed, I'm planning on meal prepping this evening to help me get mine off. Thanks for the live. Well, thank you for joining me, Tiffany, and everyone else who joined me. And if you're watching this after the fact, I appreciate you watching then as well. And don't forget to check out the description box for all sorts of information like my blog, my Amazon storefront, my 2 stores, the Forest Wall and Zazzle store, and of course my my social media. So check out the description box for all sorts of information. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment, and share if you think that you will know anyone who has an interest in this kind of thing. Thank you, Karen. There will be a better way in for both of us, Tiffany, both of us. All right, so I guess I will leave you guys there. So until next time, bye.